One of the features of the Bex Asia Eco Build conference in Singapore was the arranged tour of various energy efficient buildings. One of the buildings that stood out for me on the list was 313 Somerset. It was, of course, LEND LEASE's first major retail development undertaken in Asia back in 2009. Why was it so interesting for me? Was because it was awarded the BCA Green Mark Platinum Award for Sustainability, and that is a significant milestone for any company. And considering Barangaroo here in Australia, I was very interested to see what it was all about, which gave me more an idea of what LEND LEASE is all about.
Reason why is right above the MRT station, the train station in Somerset. On Orchard Road, there's only two main train stations. There's Orchard Central and also Somerset. So we got the other prize. The other challenge we had was under here, we're walking right above a canal.
Oh wow!
10-meter canal. Now during construction, we had to divert this canal as well as maintain the operation of the train station 24/7. And we had about 50,000 commuters every day walking through this whole site under construction. So it was a very challenging site. What I want to show you this is in the sustainable design. We want to make sure there's a transition zone. You walk outside under 35-degree heat. You walk into a transition zone, you cool down under the shade. And before you go into aircon, rather than going from the street straight to aircon. Okay, the whole idea is to reduce your ambient temperature as a consumer. Okay. You see also big ass fans, someone picked it up. We were the first to bring this into Singapore. Okay, they're from the States. And I remember seeing them in one of the conferences in the US. And we thought it was a great idea to bring them here because it's about air movement. And it's very low energy because it's a very efficient motor, constant velocity. Okay. Now, the beauty about that is as you walk through it, as long as you're shaded in the tropics and you've got some air movement, you actually feel quite comfortable. And that's the beauty about designing the tropics, kind of maximizing cross ventilation. It was a challenge in Singapore, trying to find sustainable suppliers as well as products. Most of the standard stuff we could find, like M&E, chillers, higher energy efficient, even floor tiles where there's a recyclable component. But when we went to the actual tenancy fit out, it was a bit of a limitation of how many green products for the tenancy fit out. And I'll explain it to you later. Right? But now it's better. So part of the sustainability of this mall, we looked at 23 initiatives, not just one or two, and solar energy was one of them. So we went back to the owners and said, look, we want to do a holistic way, not just single initiative. And there was 23 initiatives, including solar, which cost this much, but save you this much in totality. Okay? And there's your payback. And that's the way we sold sustainability to our investors. And we said, look, if we save you this much per year, guess what? If you talk to your valuers, there's a value increase because we're saving operational costs. Okay? But maybe down the track, there's capital value as well as extra rental value at the right time. But right now, cost saving will give you a valuation uplift anyway. The other thing you've noticed is we've future-proofed the design of this whole mall. Now, we could install all solar panels in one hit, but we told the owners, no, don't do that, because we know solar panel technology will improve over time, the cost will come down, so let's test bed 3 different solar panel technology, see which one's the most efficient, and we'll keep innovating. The other thing we've done is actually we invested in the structure of the roof to make sure that as we put new panels, it's already there, we don't have to come back and retrofit. So we future-proofed it. This is a smart way of doing it. Now what is Green Lease? It's literally about us as a landlord working collaboratively with our tenant, giving them resources and tools like a retail calculator to calculate and look at a green fit out, from lighting selection to what they use for the carpet and what they use for the fit out. Now, the simplest way to explain to you is why we do that is because we want them to change behavior and see value. It's no use for us as a landlord to build all these fantastic sustainable buildings when their staff don't see value and don't recycle or keep changing back to the old lighting. Okay, so we educated the team a lot. Now, you see it's a good example. This tenancy was one of the most challenging ones. Guardian love to light up their shops. Looks like daylight. Okay? The amount of lights. Too many, right? But they need it for retail customer experience. What we had to do was convince that by changing the lights to a better, more energy efficient, they were worried that there's not enough lux level. But you can see it's actually improving itself. Now we were able to reduce their lighting more than 50%, including the lighting load, as an example. The way we try to encourage tenants to do more fit outs is by giving a little bit of incentive. Okay, if you succeed fitting out your tenancy below, let's say 55 watts per square meter, we'll give you 1% discount on electricity. If you do it better than 55 and hit the 35 watts per square meter, we'll give you 2%. It's a little incentive, but it was shown that we want to help you as well. Now 3 years fast forward, the great thing that we've achieved is 178 tenancies went through this Green Lease program with us. In terms of green products, we had to source ourselves, and we only found 16 suppliers of green fit-out supplies, carpet, tiles, whatever. 3 years on, the Singapore Green Building Council and the government here has got over 200 products certified green now in Singapore for use by all the industry. So our job is easier. We started something. Now there's a lot of suppliers. Our team at the other development found it easier to convince tenants to go green because they've done it. They've seen value already. Okay, they converted. So it's actually made us easier. But the great thing about this Green Lease journey with us is that they are actually doing this on their other shopping malls, not just on ours as well. There's still room for improvement, but we're finding the major chain retailers, the bigger chain, they're getting the value. It's the more challenging is the mums and dad. You just got one business, 3-year lease, what's the value in going green? So right now, the BCA is just released their 3rd Green Building Master Plan. They now want to focus on the tenants, and they want to give incentive. They looked after us for the last 5 years as a developer. We get it now. But now it's the occupier, which is a fantastic story. Okay.
So what I learned from this experience was that this building contained a heap of sustainable credentials. From solar power panels, green lots, rainwater harvesting, green leases, cogen systems, large jet fans, energy efficient chillers, light sensors, and even green transport. But what really stood out for me was the fact that LEND LEASE was required after a 3-year period to be recertified to maintain its Green Mark Platinum status. I really think that this is the highest recognition in the BCA's benchmarking scheme that incorporates the best practice in environmental design and performance, and to achieve this twice is a really amazing feat.